Hi all, welcome to this our video. My name is Jude Silva. I am here for the Nurturing Sustainable Generation. Nurturing Sustainable Generations, or NSG in short, is an initiative that aims at developing a sense of care for planet Earth whilst developing positive mindsets of global populations, more so youths, towards towards lifestyle change or developing a sense of care for planet Earth, which is developing positive mindsets towards creating better change agents in the community. And the change agents in communities, I refer to the youths, the global youths. Now, one of the key issues we look at under our developing a sense of care for planet Earth is we look at climate action. That's one key issue in the environment we look at habitats conservation in response to ongoing environmental degradation. Thirdly, we look at renewable and affordable clean energy use and adoption. We look at sustainable trade with sustainable tourism taking center stage. Then we look at sanitation and proper hygiene of our community or environment. Those are the 5 key issues we look at under the Nurturing Sustainable Generations movement. Now, we addressed climate action in response to climate change, and we completed that. We have a flurry of videos on our YouTube, Silver Isaac Lexus, and if you go there, you will see most of them. They are there online and you can check out on them. You can as well subscribe and watch, share into relevant groups for further to drive our initiative forward, because caring for the planet is all effort. It's not to just one person. Now we introduce our second goal, which is habitats conservation in response to environmental degradation. Under habitats conservation, we looked at the targets. We have the targets there. They are like 10. We have so far addressed one target, which is to modernize and properly plan land use. We've talked about land use planning and modernizing and properly planning land use. And today we are going to talk about the second target and habitats conservation. Now, the full statement of the target states that to increase the use of indigenous or traditional local knowledge and public participation in the development of sustainable strategies aimed at nature conservation. That's our target. Increase the use of indigenous or traditional local knowledge and public participation in the development of sustainable strategies aimed at nature conservation. Now, defining this target, the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization on Local and Indigenous Knowledge Systems, in brackets the links, refer to traditional knowledge to understandings, skills, and philosophies developed by local communities with long histories and experiences of interaction with their natural environments. That is according to Iwasaki and others in 2014. Now, Iwasaki et al. 2014 defines the traditional knowledge. And according to UNESCO's program on local, this is how UNESCO defines local knowledge. Is local UNESCO's program on local and indigenous knowledge systems, in brackets the links, refer to traditional indigenous knowledge to understanding systems, skills, and philosophies developed by local communities with long histories and experiences of interaction with their natural environments. That's according to Iwasaki. Now, it refers to the experiences the experiences, the skills, the understandings, and the philosophies, the schools of thought that people have accumulated or acquired during the time of interacting or living with their traditional communities. As they stay longer in that community, there are certain issues or matters they learn about their community, and according to them, that is traditional knowledge. That is traditional knowledge systems. And here they are saying the UNESCO calls them the links, the local and indigenous knowledge systems. We continue and say this kind of knowledge is communicated orally and passed on from generation to generation by indigenous people or local people who are becoming globally recognized as agents of change in achieving meaningful climate action, according to the International Labour Organization, as it states in the 2019 report. This kind of knowledge is communicated orally and passed from one generation to generation by indigenous people who are becoming globally recognized as agents of change in achieving meaningful climate action, according to the International Labour Organization. Now, this knowledge systems here, since people have understood them, have learned them, have known them, have developed them, as they stay with the environment, it's orally passed. It is not in most cases dominated, because it differs from one community to another. If I live in this community and I have an understanding of how my community is, then someone who probably lives in the United States may not understand how I interact with my community, how best I interact with it. So this kind of knowledge is orally communicated and passed on from generations. Now, it can be passed on maybe from your parents, maybe from your grandparents, that kind of knowledge. For example, in my culture, we are the Bamansaba. So we have the male circumcision, and this kind of knowledge is not communicated anywhere. Now we know how we locally do it, and that information is passed on from generation to generation by our friends, by our parents, and we love it. Everyone who is born a Gisu, it is like a mandate. It's not in the rules anywhere, but it is our community, it's our clan, it's our tribe that practices it. So that's traditional local knowledge. Now, really, traditional knowledge or local knowledge is an interesting topic, because when I was at campus at the KIU in way back in 2016 for my first semester, the first research I tested was about indigenous knowledge, and with quite a friend of my friends. One of them was Laku Isaac, a South Sudanese, Wambaya Robert, also a tribemate, Aino Mugisharigan. We did this research here about indigenous knowledge, and it's really amazing that in my research I'm coming to tell about it. We continue. It says indigenous knowledges, observations, and interpretations are vital for understanding livelihood, security, and well-being, which is essential for adaptation, according to Ray Gorodetsky in 2011. The knowledge has also presented itself as a feasible option to cost-effective and sustainable development, particularly in African countries such as South Africa and Uganda, where there is cultural and natural history, and also great need to conserve natural resources stretching from floral, fauna, and hydrological systems, according to Thakul 2020 and Kitutu et al. 2015. Now, Kitutu, Marigoret Kitutu is one of our ministers in Uganda, and she also talks about traditional knowledge. She's of my tribe, she was a minister of energy, mineral development and energy. So it's really so unfortunate that where I come from, sometimes we are affected by landslides, and therefore Kitutu came up also to give the local, how local people understand, because she's from there. The Bududa landslides, it happened in our area, in our sub-region, the Bugisu sub-region, so I really have a better understanding of it. Now, in continuation, many studies show that the use of traditional knowledge towards resource management is a valuable option for emerging economies to minimize the effects of drought, according to Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change report of 2014. So that's briefly about traditional knowledge. Our target was increase the use of indigenous or traditional local knowledge and public participation in the development of sustainable strategies aimed at nature conservation. Now we are going to explore more about the local knowledge or traditional knowledge in our next video. I thank you and